So, who wants to be the next $100 a month city clerk? Apparently, nobody, at least not yet at this point in time. Greetings, everyone. This is the Gardening Snail of Livingston, California, just trying to keep the community informed and local government as honest as possible. In this video, we will do a brief go-over of the August 1st, 2023 City Council meeting agenda and touch on why some people might not be crazy about applying for the city clerk position. Closed session set to run from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Open session scheduled to begin at 7 p.m. The teleconference number is 520-525-8911. The regular meeting will be streamed on YouTube Live. Persons requesting accommodation should contact the Deputy City Clerk at least 24 hours prior to this meeting at 209-394-8041, extension 121. Public comments can be submitted via email at citycouncil@livingstoncity.com. Comments must be received by 2 p.m. on the day of the City Council meeting in order for them to be distributed to the Council prior to consideration of the matter. You will need to provide meeting date, item number, name, email, and comment. Please limit to 300 words or 3 minutes. Please include public comment in the subject for the email. Written comments will not be read aloud at the meeting, but will be reported as received for the record. If you do not receive an acknowledgement of receipt by 4 p.m., please call the City Clerk's office at 209-394-8041, extension 121. Note, this technology is not a guaranteed method. Closed session. Any public comment on closed session items will be taken before the closed session. There are 2 items under closed session. First is conference with legal counsel, potential litigation. The second is conference with legal counsel, existing litigation, Jose Ramirez versus City of Livingston. Regular meeting. After the call to order, pledge of allegiance, moment of silence, roll call, closed session announcements, and changes to the agenda is citizens' comments. This section of the agenda allows members of the public to address the City Council on any item not on the agenda and items on the agenda. If you wish to speak on an item on the agenda, please state the item number. Comments are normally limited to 3 minutes. In accordance with state open meeting laws, no action will be taken by the City Council this evening. Maybe it's just me, but I really think they would rewrite this last sentence and say that no action will be taken by the City Council this evening on items not on the agenda. Then that is followed by announcements and reports. Here's a list of commissions and committees. Jatinder Mann, Jason Roth, Maria Soto, and Gurpal Samra are on. Here's a list of the commissions and committees the mayor is on, the most recent addition being the Utility Stakeholders Committee. Next is the receiving and filing of the City Treasurer's Investment Report for the month ending June 30th, 2023. Followed by the consent agenda. Items on the consent calendar are considered routine or non-controversial and will be enacted by one vote unless separate action is requested by the city manager or council member. Item number 2 and 3 are fairly standard. Item number 4, Livingston pedestrian improvements, is about sidewalk, curb, and gutter improvements near the city's downtown corridor. Item number 5 is about the purchase of 1 new utility truck in the amount of $59,608. Item number 6 is about the purchase of 1.2 acres of land from Foster Farms in order to be able to do a well replacement project with TCP treatment. Item 7 is about the purchase of a new jet vacuum sewer cleaner in the amount of $622,256. Because the one we have is old, rather used, and does not meet state air quality control standards. Item number 8 is about the appointment of a new city clerk. the stipend for which is $100 a month. We'll dive a little deeper into this when we get into the staff reports. We'll start with the Treasurer's report. Total cash and investments as of the end of July 2023 was $40,629,149. Here's the staff report about the pedestrian improvements, which consists of constructing new sidewalk and curb cut ramp improvements in various locations near the city's downtown corridor. The total estimated cost for this phase of the project is $84,300. Adoption of the proposed resolution secures $74,631 of federal CMAQ funds with a required local match of $9,669. The staff report about the purchase of a new utility truck states the new utility truck will replace a 2006 utility truck, which will be repurposed within the Public Works Department. City staff is using a procurement service that offers purchasing contracts that meet the California Government Code for cooperative purchasing agreements. Now we're going to get into that purchase of 1.2 acres of land from Foster Farms. Before we go any further, let's take a short trip down memory lane. Once upon a time in 2011, the city owned and operated a large well next to Foster Farms. That well was determined to have had high concentrations of TCP, and the decision was made the first TCP treatment facility would be built at well number 8. Initially, Foster Farms agreed to advance the cost of treatment. However, the city was eventually able to use part of the proceeds from a settlement from Dow Chemical to complete the work. Flash forward about 11 years or so, and it was determined that the original Well 8 was nearing its useful life and would need to be replaced. The contract for that replacement was awarded in early 2023. Lo and behold, in reviewing the award of the contract, it was determined that the city of Livingston did not have site control of the location of the proposed well site. Oopsie! As a result, the work on the new well was paused and staff began discussions with Foster Farms for the proper acquisition of the land prior to issuing a notice to proceed to the contractor. And after a few months of negotiating back and forth, a purchase price of $179,318 was settled on. About that jet vacuum sewer cleaner. According to the staff report, it is a vital part of the operations within the Water and Wastewater Division and the first line of defense against blockages in the sewer system. However, the one we have is really old, breaks down often, parts are hard to get or even obsolete, and the engine no longer meets the Air Pollution Board mandate. So we need a new one, and it's going to cost us $622,256. Moving on to the appointment of city clerk. If you've been following the goings-on at City Hall lately, you already know that as of effective June 8, 2023, our current elected city clerk resigned. According to the staff report, the city has experienced difficulties with the position of city clerk, which is an elective position. Well, that's kind of putting it mildly. The city council can fill the vacancy, assume anybody would want the position, by appointment or call a special election to fill the vacancy. On July 5, 2023, the mayor and city council directed staff to solicit applications for this city clerk role, and staff adhered to the timeline which was directed by city council, and received no applications for the city clerk role. Zip, zero, nada, none. I wonder why. Could it have anything to do with the fact that the stipend is only $100 a month? Moving on to a special election. According to the County Registrar of Voters, the soonest date a special election can be held is Tuesday, March 5th, 2024. I wonder if they try to have an election and nobody comes. I'll let you pause to read the city clerk duties and responsibilities. Here's some more about the office of the city clerk as a service department, election official, legislative administrator, and records manager. Which, at the end of the day, sounds much more like a full-time 40-hour-a-week job than a part-time $100 a month job. And if you compare those duties and responsibilities to what is listed on the city's website as responsibility, it already appears that most of those duties and responsibilities were delegated to the deputy city clerk. When these duties were delegated and how these duties were delegated and who delegated the duties to the deputy city clerk, I can't say. I don't know. What I can remember is the last time I saw an elected city clerk actually attending a city council meeting and sitting at the dais as the official note taker for meeting minutes was back around 2007. From talking to some of the more elder statesmen among us, I've heard that city clerks may have signed documents or sworn in people taking office or cooking the shrimp for a city-county dinner. They haven't done much else. If that's the case, then maybe $100 a month might be considered reasonable. However, my understanding is there is an effort to shift most, if not all, of those city clerk duties away from the deputy city clerk and onto the elected city clerk. If that's the case, then it only seems reasonable that the stipend for the elected city clerk would need to be increased significantly. Which leads us into the further considerations in the staff report. The City Council may submit a ballot measure to the voters asking whether the elected city clerk position should be changed to an appointed position. I don't see how that addresses the $100 a month stipend issue, but okay. If such a ballot measure were approved, the city clerk would serve at the pleasure of the City Council and would not be required to be a resident or elector in the city. The City Council would also be able to, if they wished, turn over the appointing of a city clerk to the city manager. Finally, at the recommendation of legal counsel, the council may wish to discuss the delegation of city clerk responsibilities to staff with clear direction on the council's intent specified by ordinance. Having the responsibilities and duties between the elected city clerk and the deputy city clerk spelled out clearly in an ordinance may help to clear up any confusion going forward about who should be doing what. But it doesn't seem to address the issue of the $100 a month stipend for the elected city clerk. As for the fiscal impact of this can of worms, it is estimated a special election held on November 7th, 2023 would be $53,345 or $15,448 if held on March 5th, 2024. If you like what I do here, please follow me on Facebook and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And remember, editorial content is my own as a long-term resident of Livingston and does not represent the views and opinions of the City Council or the City of Livingston itself, and does not hold itself out to be any kind of legal advice. Photo credit.